And we'll have Brian Lacey, the new alumni director. Brian, okay? So we will start off with Mr. Francioli, Sr., to give his little speech. And then we'll have Dr. Bossu, Brian Lacey, and then Big Mouth me.
Yeah, you're going to introduce? I thought you were going to introduce him.
All right. Maybe he should have a seat. Yeah, I think so. Because it's hard to stand. Come on, Mr. Francioli. Oh, and by the way, if you're going to get his book, he'll be signing after the meeting at my check-in table at the end for signature on the book. Okay?
Everybody knows Vince Francioli, taught at Benedictine, and this is his son Mark, who teaches at Benedictine, so he's the next generation of Franciolis.
Men of Benedictine.
Oh, there you go. So he wrote a book and it's been published, and it's basically on his experience during World War II. He fought in some major battles, and he's going to go over a few of the incidents that you're going to find very, very exciting. And after he returned home, he went to college. Was it John Carroll? And then he got married, and then he had a daughter, and then he had Mark here.
My son, my number one son.
And all those,
Only one.
and the majority of us who are all interested in history, we grew up in that era. You're going to really appreciate the book, especially if you were in the service. You can relate to a lot of things in that book. So, Vince, it's your table.
Thank you for doing what you do.
Okay, go ahead.
My son has been there, by the way, 37 years. They're going to call him Mr. Chips pretty soon. I wanted to tell you a little something about the American soldier, which American military, which affects a lot of you. The first story I'd like to tell you about is about one in which there was a sniper. And how it happened was that there was a row of houses, brick. It must have been a nice area. We were in France, and a sniper was on a hill higher than us, and we were at an angle, and it was tough to see this guy, but he could see us good. But the thing that we had in our favor was that all these houses were brick. And the way he could see us was from an angle. And in any case, I'm ordered to go down to this place. I was taught not weapons, but dynamite and TNT. I worked with the bombs of all sorts, booby traps with all sorts. In any case, this guy tells me, well, you walk down, and at the last house, you'll find it. I says, well, won't you come with me? And he says, no. Don't worry about it. It's okay. So I'm walking between these houses. Oh, by the way, the geography was a river on one side. This river was a little bridge, and on the other side were the Germans. On my side were the Americans, naturally. And so I'm walking down, I come to the third house, and I hear, drin, drin. I said, what the hell is that? On a nice day like this, why should somebody? You know, nobody was shooting right then. And So I says, well, I'll go again. I went to the second house, and this time I knew it was he spit up dust and bullets and everything else. Fortunately, he missed me. I said, geez, what the hell am I gonna do now? How am I gonna get past this guy? So I figured, I got a piece of wood. I said, what I'll do is I'll go like that and go back real quick. That'll take him off, because I throw the piece of wood first, right? And throw him off, and I'll be able to make it. So I did. I made it to that house. I said, well, at least I made it to the house. Now, my job was to take a generator that was attached to the bridge. And when I got the proper word from headquarters, I am to generate this thing and blow up the bridge. And so that was all right. We were safe in the house there, and every once in a while this guy kept spitting some stuff. And later on came in the day, and they start throwing in a few mortars right close to where we were. And so the guys, there were 3 infantrymen there with a machine gun. And my job is to take care of that bridge. But they said, listen, Vince, since they're throwing in a couple mortars, why don't you go upstairs? There's a whole tub full of hand grenades. He said, what I want you to do is I want you to throw these hand grenades out as fast as you can. I said, all right. Honest to goodness, guys, you won't believe there was a bathtub full. So I took, you know how to do a grenade, guys. You take the pin off, and you got the grenade in your hand already to throw it. And you got 3 seconds. So I pulled the pin, right? And I start throwing these things left and right. Finally, I hear him yelling down there, stop, stop, you're landing too close, you're landing close to the house, stop, stop. Then I went down, and it came to me. I says, listen, you guys, I'm supposed to be here just twisting the generator to blow up this bridge. I almost blew you up, I say. So I'm ready to, things calm down, and we're still at this place, and everybody's thirsty because we've been there for a while, and then nobody, so we had canteens, and there was a well, kind of like near where the guy was shooting, but kind of like in a space that you could hardly see him. And so I took, I don't know why I get the deal. I took the damn canteens, and I finally worked my way up to them, but not right there because that was a clean spot. And there was a young lady, maybe 14, 15, and she saw the peril I was in. So she walks up to me, and she says, "Vous êtes American?" I said, "You're damn right I'm American. And can you help me?" And she said, "Sure." So she walked up there, and the Germans didn't bother her. I guess they were getting water from the same well. And I got them, and I brought them back. I said, well, that's enough for one day, right? And so it comes the next thing, all in the same day.
People on the other side too.
Huh?
There's people on the other side too.
Oh, there's people. Yeah.
No, no, it's all right.
Talk, we can hear
Okay, we can hear him.
and I'll be done pretty soon. And so, she gives us these canteens and brings it back, and everybody's having. All of a sudden, the a messenger comes in from headquarters saying, Francioli, the captain wants to talk to you. So I walked over to headquarters. I said, Captain, what can I do for you? We were friends. And he said, you know, Vince, what's happening over here? I said, no, what's happening? And I looked, and there was a French colonel. And he said, I want to introduce you to the French. And he spoke English. And he said, well, you know, nice to meet you, Colonel. And he says, I want you to stay with him for a couple of days and show him what's going on. Because he's new and and they want the Americans to show him. So I said, fine. So I get this colonel, and we go to sleep in the basement in the coal bin. The coal made it nice, you know, to lay down in. And he learned, and but not without that damn sniper shooting at us again. Finally, we got a word that there's a push. A push means that 15,000 men in the division are gonna move. If you think that ain't something, watching 15,000 men and vehicles move and getting different orders. And so that was about it. The push didn't come until finally something else had to happen at the same place. My generator wouldn't work. That meant that the line had been cut. Someone had to go. Now this was my job, right? I had to see that bridge had to be blown up. So I got my rifle and I start going through the bushes. What you do is you grab the end of it with your hand and you walk around until you find the end, you know. Then you go to the other end, then twist it up. So I'm going and I hear a sound. I said, what the hell is this? So I fell down on the ground and put my rifle in front of me. And I come to the end of the wire. I said, oh, the wire's on the other side. And so I moved real quiet. I hear something move, and I was ready to shoot. And I saw a brown coat. Well, the Germans don't wear brown coats. They wear those long gray things. And the guy says, Jesus, I almost shot you. I said, you're lucky you ain't dead either, because I was going to shoot you. So after that came the push, which means that everybody moved. And I'm almost done. So we go down the road, and the push stops. And it was hot, and kind of warm. And the cooks come out, they're cooking fresh meals for us. So we're sitting down, me and my buddy, and we see two kids across the street, but not too far. One was about 4 or 5, and the other maybe 14. And so they're looking. We're eating white bread. And so all of a sudden, the little kid, I hear him talking. Das ist Brot. And the little kid says, Nick, that is Brot. Das ist Kuchen. They're arguing that the white bread is cake. And the little kid said it was cake. And the older guy thought it was bread, cake, and the other one thought it was bread. So I tell them, come on over here. They were first a little shaky. Then they came over, and the little kid said, see, das ist Kuchen. He thought the bread was cake. And I thought that was such a nice story. The last one I'm going to tell you is in the book. But I got to tell you because it's so typical of the American soldier. We were in an area where there was a lot happening. One of the things was that the column stops and a young girl, maybe 14, 15, with a little boy, come running toward us. And behind him, a big fat guy, and he's chasing these kids, and he's yelling at them. And this girl reaches me, she says, oh, help me. I says, yeah, I'll help you. And this guy is running, and he's grabbing at him. I said, halt. And he wouldn't halt. So my buddy says, halt, jetzt und du bist tot. Verstehen Sie? And he was still struggling. But my buddy was not as patient as I. He hit him on the head with the butt of a rifle, knocked him down. But this guy still got up, So the kid put the rifle in his mouth and says, du bist tot. And then he just ran away, he didn't come back. But that was just part of the story. As we're going on, so what happened to the little girl and the little boy? Well, we took them, we put them in a truck. We fed them. And what are you going to do now? Well, the United States Army has a place for displaced persons and for kids like this. And so they called up a wagon and they came in to get them. And the kids cried. They wanted to stay with us. And then there's a lot more. But the last story I want to tell you is about the fact that did I tell you the story? I'm not going to tell you twice. The story about the war is over, and the captain calls me in and says, Francioli, he says, I'm giving you a squad. I want you to take it down this point where the Russians and the Americans meet. As you know, they divided Germany into each one of the countries. And we had a nice little light machine gun on the hill. And I told the kids, no one goes beyond this we are obliged to shoot. And so I told the German, I said, he was yelling and screaming, stop. And so I told the kids, lock and load. And I says, aim for that guy's head. If somebody's gonna die, he's gonna die. And he's gotta know that he's gonna die. And so the kids went down there and they pointed their guns. There was 12 of them. Young kids, now, I'm telling you. Not a single one of those kids moved. Not a single one of them wanted to go back or made a sound. All they did is stand there and act like a soldier. And finally, I get him to go up the hill, our captain to come back. Our captain came back, and he came back with 100 infantrymen. Lined them up, he didn't say a word to this guy. And this guy's talking to him. He says, Vince, you tell him at the count of 3, we're going to shoot. Tell him that he's going first. So I went there and I said, Ein, und dann kommt Zwei. I didn't even get the Zwei out of my mouth before he ran and went away. And that's my last story. Yes.
Question. You ever blow the bridge?
Oh, the bridge. Yeah.
About the sniper.
We didn't have to blow the bridge because the push came and we moved, and another platoon that took care of the bridge, that put the wiring on the bridge, also took the wiring off and neutralized it. So that's the end of my story. I got and thank you all, men of Benedictine.
Very good.
I had the pleasure of not going to school there, as you know, but as teaching there. And I enjoyed it very much.
How many guys had him for teacher there?
So, don't be quiet.
I didn't hear it.
You got any questions? No questions? All right, good.
And somebody asked if anybody got the sniper.
Oh, the sniper. Yeah, they got him. But they didn't kill him. They shot him in the leg. And what happened was the infantry sent 6 men out, and they flanked them, and they got on either side, and they started shooting all together. But they got him in the ankle, and our boys treated him like one of their own. They gave him cigarettes and they talked to him. He was only a kid, he was only 18.
How old were you when all this was going on?
When I was,
Yeah.
I got a letter from Uncle Sam in 1943. The letter said, greetings. Uncle Sam has inducted you in the Armed Forces of the United States. Here's 10 cents to go back home and 10 cents to come back to the engineer building where you're going to get your medical exam. So that's what happened. And then they put me on a boat. I got a picture in my book of the boat that I sailed on. And also I got a picture of the one that I came back on.
You still remember your serial number?
Oh, ich kann Deutsch sprechen. Sehr gut. Sure.
They tore that over down.
Yeah, very good.
I learned from the kids, the little kids talk. I would give them candy, and I'd say, "Was ist dein Name?" And she, "Mine Norman is," and I didn't pronounce it correctly. And the little kid would correct you until you got it just right. So I learned from them. And French too.
Yes, very good.
So, all right,
You
everybody.
didn't meet no Italian people over there.
John, see that folding up there? There's a lot of even after they doing machine and that's a compound joint.
Okay, Mr. Francioli's done, let's give him a nice hand. All right. President Benedictine.
4 items, news from the front, news from Benedictine, okay? So, number one, let's just start with a little nostalgia, which is Super Bowl was last weekend. Just a reminder, there are now 10 Super Bowl rings from Benedictine grads, okay? Chuck Null has 4 of them. Pat Moriarty was a VP at the Ravens, he has 1. Glowick was a scout for the Raven, he has 1. Ruskowski has 2, and then Najee Good was with the Eagles this weekend, okay? So that's number 10. So 10 Super Bowl rings from Benedictine grads, which is pretty cool. And there's some pictures floating around with at least 8 or 9 of those rings floating around. So I'll send it over to Bob so he has a copy of that. Number 2, just to give you an idea of what's going on in terms of sports. Last weekend, my wife's out of town, so that's the weekend where I go to everything. So bowling, first thing in the morning, they have a bowling tournament. Nice group, mostly seniors, they're gonna have to rebuild for next year. Swimming, that was the NCL meet. They were in 3rd place when I got there, mostly because for the first time in a long time, we have a diver, freshman diver, who got 1st place in the meet and got a lot of points, and now they're working their way through. We don't have as many kids as we had in the past, so I'm not sure where they came out on that. Wrestling was at Akron Hoban, which is a beautiful facility, and again, an NCL meet, and really the message I got from the coaches was the way it's organizing, it's a really long season, and the kids are getting tired and hurt, okay? So they're looking at ways to actually try to manage that better, all right? It's a long season for the wrestlers. And then finally, basketball, good news, we beat Lake on Friday night, and then last Friday night, St. Ignatius Saturday night, and someone said we won last night also, so they're getting close to the tournament there. Our best player is out, should be back for the tournament time, or right around there, so we'll see how far they can make a run on it. The basketball team is actually Division I because of competitive balance, and doesn't change the season, but changes the tournament in terms of the level of competition they have. Number 2. Number 3 is student recruiting is solid. Our metrics versus a year ago, which we had a good class last year in terms of size and quality, they're at or above what we had last year, with an emphasis that we have more Catholic school kids coming in. So the word's getting out and getting more traction that way. So we're really focusing now more on the charter school and because of timing, Catholic schools kids have to have something done by mid-February, or actually you have to have everything sent to us by the end of January, 1st week of February. So we know what's going on there. Now we're spending more time following up on our charter school kids and public school kids to round it out. And finally, some stuff in terms of school. 2 weeks ago, was it? We had Catholic Schools Week, school mass on Monday, followed by Student Appreciation Day on Tuesday. Wednesday was Career Day. Ryan organized about 33 to 35 alumni, grads, friends, moms coming in, his mom, coming in to basically do 3 sessions, about 10 kids each. So I had I did one, so I had 3 different sessions of about 10 to 12 students come in and basically talk about our career and then have them be able to ask questions about it. Kids were able to sign up. We have a lot of different types of careers that were represented, and feedback went well, and my feedback was I learned as much from them as I hopefully they learned from me. And I started my thing out like, okay, what's my career? Mathematician, chemist, manager, market researcher, teacher, coach, president, okay? Had no idea it was gonna be that, okay? No idea, but that's part of the message. In fact, as the second message was, I was sitting there in the seat just like these guys were, these students, and I said, well, I'm gonna go to Notre Dame and become a mathematician. Until 2 weeks later, I wasn't, okay? So that's kind of how I started, which brings me to my last thing, which is we're focusing on developing a curriculum that goes beyond our college prep. We're a great college prep school, but we're going to do more concentrations. I call it college ready, college prep, and career bound, which means if someone's interested in engineering, they're going to have some specific courses in engineering. And they'll have lecturers come in that are actually engineers. So again, just like this career day, they can get a sense for what engineers actually do. Field trips, summer experiences after their sophomore and junior year. Same thing for medicine, same thing for business entrepreneurship, and eventually for media communication, all right? Next year, we'll have freshmen and sophomores on those tracks, and we'll follow up with media communication the following year there. So again, that's the emphasis in terms of building on our curriculum. We know that colleges like that type of experience. We know parents are interested in getting that type of experience. And personally, from an education standpoint, I like the idea of bringing career professionals into the learning environment with our teaching professionals. So that's where we're moving on that. And that's what I had for you today. So any questions?
I got one over here.
Yep.
How many students do you have?
We're about 350 right
Now,
now.
I'm talking about for going into the first year. How many do you accept each year?
Oh, our target this year, our target as a school is 450, okay? That's big enough to be where we want to be from a stability standpoint, but still small enough to have the culture that we've had for all these years, okay? We're at 350 now. We're accepting about 125 to 135, which means in 3 years, we'll be at that 450 mark. Our problem has been inconsistency. Last year we had 125, well, we have 3 classes, about 75 to 85 following that. So we just have to be more consistent. We've been more consistent last year, and this year was to be the same thing. One of my emphasis from a leadership standpoint is to put in systems and processes so when someone leaves, which sometimes happen, it's not all dependent on that one person, but rather we have a way to actually continue to make progress in those different areas. Advancement and mission, the school, and business owners. So that's what that is. Does that answer your question?
Yes.
Okay, good. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. All right, Brian Lacey, he'll be up. He's our new alumni director.
So I wasn't even thought of when you guys were. Yeah. So I graduated 2012. I had Mr. Francioli class. I actually had Doc as well for chemistry. We won't talk about my grade back then. But no, a little background about myself. I went to Heidelberg University in Tiffin. I played football there. I got my undergrad in sports management, and then I went on to get my master's in business administration. So when I finished up my master's, everybody's looking for a job and everything after college. It's rough. It is. It's scary. But I was fortunate enough to there was a football assistant coaching position open at Benedictine. So I said, oh, of course, I want to be back in the game. I wish I was still playing, of course. I'll tell you, this is just as good. So I started coaching, and I loved it. I loved it. It's like I fell in love again with the game. So I'm doing that now. I'm also coaching track as well. But during the season, there happened to be this position happened to open up. And it was, it's one of those things where when I was a student, I was always told, the brotherhood, when you graduate, it's still a brotherhood, guys, we look out for each other. That really came to fruition, because who's now my boss, Chris Lorber, he was my football coach when I was a student at Benedictine, so it's just, things like that, it's just, they work themselves out. So coming back, it's just like, I love, just meeting all the older guys, all the grads that came before me, different times and things like that, just because I've just become so passionate about Benedictine just from, moving on and seeing the things that, it's taught me when I was there. When you're a student, you don't really realize a thing. Oh, it's school, I want to get out of school, whatever, but then once you actually, go out into the real world, you're like, oh, wow, these are, I'm, learning these life lessons that I could have actually, taken serious back then, and maybe I'd be a little, further ahead, but hey, it is what it is, everybody has their own path. But, so just being back, I'm truly passionate about Benedictine. I love where we're going, the direction we're headed. I love, the things that doctors trying to do. I love, the room, they give me, like Doc and Chris, they tell me, how things have been, and they just let me run with it, so that's something that I really love, because it's not always about, just this is the way to do it, this is the way to do it, it's about, putting, your own touch onto it, your own, whatever it may be, so that you can get people, involved and, things like that. So, I'm loving being back, I'm passionate about the school, I'll forever be passionate about Benedictine. I'm glad you guys are here, and it's just some upcoming events that we have. We actually will we have a student-led charity basketball game that's coming up. One of our students, one of our seniors, Vic Ferrante, he actually started his own charity called the Lace Up Project, and they have people donate new and used shoes that they give to the Boys and Girls Club. So his charity is actually putting on this event at Benedictine. It's on the 24th at 7 if you guys would like to come out. And so they'll be taking shoes, they'll give them to the Boys and Girls Clubs, and then they are also taking monetary donations that they'll be giving to a Catholic, I can't exactly remember the name, but a Catholic charity in Cleveland. So, it's just like some of those things, that, when I was a student, we weren't really thinking about, starting charities or starting businesses like some of the students are now. So, it's, I like the direction that we're headed, I like that the students are, doing a lot more, not just going to class and going home, They're actually doing things in their community and things like that. And that's truly special to me. It really is. So we've got that on the 24th. We have on the 24th of February. The 24th of March, we've got the gala coming up, the 16th annual Blue and White Gala. It's a big event for us. And then the reunion in June. So, all men of Benedictine are welcome, of course, but we'll be recognizing the 3s and the 8s this year. We got 68 having their 50th reunion this year. So, yeah, it'll be fun, I'm glad that I'm able to be back, getting my feet wet with these events and things like that, meeting a lot of different people, meeting some great people, and yeah, thank you guys for having me. Appreciate it.
Okay. Keep up with the young ones.
Oh yeah, I will try to at least.
Right now, we're stuck in the mud. This is where we are, okay? So, the old goats.
My name is Mark Teneglia, graduated in 1968, spent 2 years in the Army, 11 months in Vietnam, married to Bonnie. I've got 2 children, 5 stepchildren, 12 grandchildren, 3 great-grandsons. I was a policeman for 38 years for the city of Brooklyn, retired as chief of police, and my first event today here at Golden Corral.